And Lord Ram, we read in Ramayana, Ram is the Supreme Lord incarnate in this world. Supreme Lord means Bhagavan, the possessor of all beauty, all knowledge, all strength, all wealth, all fame, and all detachment. That, according to the Vedas, is the definition of God, Bhagavan, the source of everything that exists. Krishna tells in Gita, all beautiful, wonderful things within this world are just a spark of my splendor, like a ray of the sun. So when Ram was living in Ayodhya, the great saint, Vishwamitra, he came to the court, and the king, now Dasarat, was not just like a political leader of today. He was actually a king. And in those days, long ago, there wasn't elections every 4 years where you had to campaign and you had to make allies with enemy parties just to somehow or other get enough seats so that you can be in your situation. And then you have to compromise with all different types of lobbyists, otherwise they'll withdraw their support and their funding. Yes, in those days a king was a king till he decided to give the kingdom to his son or a queen, whatever. He was a very powerful person, massive armies, tremendous wealth, and it was for life. Usually people who have that type of power, practically absolute power, when you're a king of a massive kingdom, and all the citizens loved him because he ruled with such compassion, and he had no ulterior motives. He was really there for them. Because in the Vedic system, everyone is a servant. No one is a master. Only God is master. And even God likes to serve. So everyone's a servant. King means you give your life to serve the subjects you have in your kingdom. And the subjects are serving each other and serving the king. Everyone's serving. The guru is serving the disciples are serving the guru. Jīvera, svarūpa, kṛṣṇera, nitya-dāsa. But everyone's in the spirit of service. That's spiritual consciousness. So here is Dasarat Maharaj. He's more than a billionaire. He's the proprietor of everything in his kingdom. And he's sitting on his magnificent throne. And in comes Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra's just wearing tree bark. He has no house. He has no home. He lives in the jungle, sleeping on the ground, no possessions. His only set of clothes is some tree bark around his body. And he comes in, but because he's a saintly person, he has attained the wealth and the power of self-realization. And Dasarat Maharaj understood that as a king, he had attained the wealth and the power of the things of this world, but it didn't compare to what Vishwamitra had. So from his heart, he came down off his throne and put Vishwamitra on his throne. And washed his feet. Such a humble position. You know, washing feet is not like if you go to the hospital and you have a cut on your foot, then the doctor will wash your feet. But it's not like that. He's not doing it to treat Vishwamitra Muni. He's doing it to actually, from his heart. You are great, I am small. And then he asked for Vishwamitra Muni's blessings. He said, whatever I have is only due to the blessings of saintly people. So please give me instructions and give me blessings. Now, the thing about this blessing stuff is you have to be prepared. If you just ask expecting to get what you want, it may not be like that. So Vishwamitra Muni said, oh, yes, here is my blessing. Give me your son, Ram. Now, for Dasarat, this was worse than death. He loved his son. And for Dasarat, Ram, he may have been the Supreme Lord, but for Dasarat Maharaj, being the Supreme Lord was a detail. The real thing is he's my son. And he didn't see him as a Supreme Lord. Due to his parental affection, he was seeing him as a boy who was depending on him, who was still very young. He was only a teenager. You want to take him into the forest to fight against Rakshasas? very, very powerful, mystical demons? Vishwamitra Muni said, yes, I want to bring him to the forest. These rakshasas, these demons with supernatural powers, they are harassing the saints. So I want your son to come. And Dasaratha said, I will come with my whole army, but leave Ram home. Vishwamitra said, I want Ram. I don't want you, and I don't want your armies. And Dasaratha tried to talk him out of his blessing. First he asked for a blessing, then he was doing everything within his mental power to talk him out of it. But Vishwamitra Muni was very focused. So eventually, Dasaratha was thinking, some other sages said, Dasaratha, you don't want to displease this great personality. Give him Ram. And, he will protect Ram, don't worry. So they left. So Ram, the Supreme Lord, takes the blessings of his father before he goes. And then he takes the blessings of Vishwamitra Muni to go. Then he takes the blessings of his mother to go. And he goes. And then there's so many stories that happen there. When there actually did happen, that fight took place, Ram received the blessings of Vishwamitra first. And although Ram is the Supreme Lord, he wanted to teach.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on devotionalnectar.com.